Hello and welcome to the Watercolour for Beginners, and we've got a beautiful sunny day today. As you can see, we've got a little bit of shadows from the sunshine, which is wonderful. And I hate to put the blind down to block out the sunshine. We don't get enough. So what I thought I would do today, I'm actually just starting on a fairly large watercolour of Windermere. So I've got the paper stretched. Well, it's not stretched, it's actually just fastened down onto a board and it's sketched already. So it's actually half a imperial size board is this, and I've got my paper cut. It's not paper, and I'm using today a new paper that I've never used before. It's called Snelia, and it's a knot, and it's £140, not in pence, and it was actually, I think, £4.70 for a imperial size sheet, which is pretty good for watercolour paper. So I've cut off the section which I'm going to sketch, but then before I begin, I thought I just want to check out some colours, figure out what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do a sunset picture, which is what I do in the third project. The third project, it's a similar sort of scene. It's not quite as long and it's not quite as complicated as this. Not that this is complicated, it's just washes of colours which are wonderful. And what we do with this picture is in the third project on the course, we just use mainly three colours, three primaries. That's all you need: a red, a yellow and a blue. But then you can do different sunsets with different colours of red, yellow and blue. And that's what I've sort of marked off here, which I thought I would just show you what I do. So I've got this little bit there. So I thought I've got 4 little sections maybe to try out different colour schemes. So I'm going to just dampen the paper first on this one. So it's trying out different techniques before you go straight into that picture. You know, the amount of times we've got this paper and we go straight in, we don't have a practice. And if you think of a musician, they would have a practice run. They wouldn't go straight into a great big piece. So I'm going to first of all I'm going to do a yellow, which I think is a cadmium, which is quite nice. It's going to mix it with a little bit of permanent rose. So it's going on the paper quite wet. Touch more permanent rose. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the blue. I'm going to actually, on this one, use a little bit of ultramarine blue. So I've washed all my paints as well. I've got some nice paints, all nice and clean. And just going to move it about a little bit. So that's just a very easy, quick little show of what you can just do. So it's still wet. Now what we can do, we can still add colour onto that because it will dry lighter. So it'll dry possibly 20% lighter than what it is when it's wet. So I think it'll be a little bit insipid this. So I'm just going to add a little bit more, maybe permanent rose, but no more water. I'm going to keep, so it's just that little bit stronger. And this is nice to get before you start doing your great big pictures, just to have a little play and see what colours come together. So it's all still wet. It's actually quite nice, is this paper. Moment, I quite like it. And then mix in some ultramarine blue. So this is one thing that we do on the course. We do this sort of sky. So we do the wet in wet, and then we add a little bit stronger colours for some darker clouds. And the secret is, it goes on while it's still wet, but your darker clouds are going on much drier, so there isn't as much paint in the mixture. So Maybe just having a few little clouds come in there. Wispy little things. So they are quite nice, quite like them. Just going to put a little bit more blue into that top bit. But yeah, you can just get a little idea of what it can do. So just going to move that sideways. That's just getting it just to move, putting it right the way down. That's better. So really moving this paint about, and this is what watercolour's about. So that's sort of like a little bit of one to start. Take that tape off, keep a nice sort of edge, and then what I can do is I can write a little note about what colours these were, and then I can do another one. So I'll maybe do one just down here, just to let that bit dry. I think we'll have some new tape. So just putting this on. So looking at what I've got, I might just go with a little bit more orangey. And also on this one, I'm going to not wet all of it. I'm maybe going to keep a little bit in the centre dry. So I'm just, and I've got a couple of pots of water here just to keep, so that's a good idea. Have 2 pots of water, you know, one to maybe clean your brush with and one for the painting. Right, so going to go with, again, a little bit of yellow. Just give my brush a little wash. And I'm just using a little Chinese brush. I think it's got a mixture of a little bit of sable in it. And it's a bargain, £7.60. Just softening that a little bit. Just going to try and get a little bit more light into there. So to get some more light, if I think it's gone on a bit dark, I just put some water to it. That's all. And then I'm going to do this time I'm going to use some brighter red. So I'm going for say a cadmium red. Touch of that yellow. And then a blue, which I might use, say cobalt. Well, I don't think that these are going to look quite as nice, but we'll see. So it's all about just loosening up and playing, seeing what it can do. So I'm just washing my brush. I'm just going to get a little bit more of that red. And then we're going to do a fun thing in a minute. A bit more of the blue. Right, now we want to get it moving again. So we're going to go down. It's all playing. It's wonderful. Doesn't always have to be an absolute masterpiece, because you can learn so much. And you can learn so much often by your mistakes. So I'm just washing this brush. I just want to do just a little bit stronger colour. Just in here. But not fiddle too much. That could have just been a little bit of a fiddle, but it might be all right. Right, we've got another little bit of a different sort of sky we could think of. So you can see how different some of these are. Right, I'm just going to do one more. Take that off. Yesterday, I treated myself to a new rubber. Oops. That one. There we go. You know, I'll show you what I had left. Where is it? It's terrible, really. That's what I had left. Isn't that terrible? So we have got a new rubber today. I'm just going to take that line out because I put a line in there. I don't like to rub out too much. Right, I'm just going to do just a little one in here. So those colours that we've been using up to now, let's go down a little bit there, just so it don't go into that, are transparent, fairly transparent. I think the red actually that I did use wasn't a cadmium. I think it's something like a Windsor red. So it is slightly, it is transparent. Whoops-a-daisy. Tell you what, I won't put it there. I'll just, I'll try again. Put it up. I know what I'll do. Bear with me, folks. Right. It's determined to catch it, isn't it? Right. So I'm going to, this time, I'm going to use a little bit of Naples yellow. And Naples yellow is opaque. So it doesn't, I'm just dampening this paper. It doesn't move about as much. Doesn't move as fast as the transparent colours. I think because they're heavier, they just don't move about. So I'm using a little bit of Naples yellow, which I quite enjoy using in a sunset picture. So it stays put, does the Naples yellow. So that was just a little bit of the yellow and the red. And then I'm going to use the permanent rose. Which is lovely. And maybe just underneath, I'm just going to get a little bit more of that yellow. So I'm enjoying this one a little bit more. And I think it's because I've like slightly loosened up. Just repainting the other ones. And again to the permanent rose. I'm going to use a little bit of Windsor blue, which is just slightly brighter than the ultramarine. So just a little bit in there. So I've just used the same brush. Give it another wash. I'll just give a tiny bit of permanent rose into here, I think. Just into here, just to... Right. So, as you can see, I've not messed about too much with these skies. They've taken me, what are we on? Oh, we're on about 15 minutes. So they've maybe taken me I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes each one. Take that off. So now I sort of feel that I'm quite ready to maybe start painting a bigger piece with different colours. And these are wonderful little things that you can just practice on. And there's just a scrap of paper that I've used. So you can see the 3 different types of sunset sort of skies that you could do. Only with 3 colours in each one, but different shades. So you've got different yellows, reds and blues. And I think my favourite one is probably going to be this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and I'm going to have a go at painting this sunset sky and see how I get on, and I'll catch up with you soon. Hope you've enjoyed this, and if you want to subscribe to the videos, I think that's quite a good way for, if I do regular ones, then you'll see them quite regularly. And okay, lovely to paint again today and in the sunshine. See you soon.